no specific example, but for the purpose of this point, I will give you the story of Isaac, Jacob, and Esau. Isaac did not respect Esau because Esau followed everything to the letter, but he respected Jacob because Jacob was the one that broke the mold. I'm arguing that I don't want to say no empathy and respect because that's absolute, but I wouldn't
I would have liked to engage, but I don't want to embarrass my children's pastor. My children, when I was a child, the children's pastor in the church. I can't remember the stories too much. I think one of them was the coat of
Esau was the first son. He was the one that
he was supposed to get the blessing.
Did everything right, blah blah blah. But he still ended up going to.
I know one went and caught something and went Jacob. To the father. Then Jacob. Which one was?
Even then, let's go to a more common one.
I knew.
Let's go to a more common one. The prodigal son. Do we know that one? The one where he went out, and then the other son stayed back.
Yes.
And then helped, but it was the son that went out that got the love and respect for the dad, who was like, "Oh, let's throw him a party." And I'm not saying this to be like, again, for people to go be contrarian. I'm just saying you have to stand on yourself.
But this is not establish yourself. No, but what we are saying is exactly the same thing. Nobody's disputing that point, right? Your point is, if you need to, you should do it. Is that correct?
Yes,
but it is not
that should be the aim. The aim is to tailor it to yourself.
Yes, no doubt. But it does not mean that you always have to.
And I
agree. So we're on the same page. Yeah. If you know that something else, or you believe strongly in something else, you should take that path.
Actually, but
if you don't, you don't have to force it just because now my papa talk. So I'm just gonna break.
I have a question on that though. I'm slightly a bit confused. Yeah, I would like you to elaborate anyway, Sha. But basically, you are talking about you don't have to. Surely the aim of humanity is for everybody to be unique, right? And by being unique, that's how we get the best out of all of us. If we are all the same, if I did what my dad did, frankly speaking, I'm not really adding value to the world. If I'm objective, as in, I'm being linear. I'm just continuing from when somebody stopped. But the world might not necessarily need that because the world is too diverse for that.
I'm going to pick on something.
Okay, go on.
You said do exactly what my dad did. I didn't say what your dad did.
No, sorry. Change. Let me reverse one of that word in.
You're just following your father's blueprint.
Yes,
but your father's blueprint can be correct.
No, but good for his blueprint. What about my blueprint? No, I'm a human being, so I deserve to have my blueprint.
No doubt. But your blueprint can also be his blueprint. The blueprint is the way forward. I'm not talking of what he has done. That's what I'm saying.
If I sample your, let's take it to music terms. Right? Yeah. If I sample your beat and I make a song, right? Yeah. It will always call a sample of your song.
Okay.
Now, even if
fantastic, but what you are saying is your father has already done. Now, let me tell you, your father now produces a beat.
Yes.
If the beat is fantastic, why won't you sing on it? Why will you now say no? I must change it. I must remove this. No. I must do that.
No. The aim is to get empathy and respect. Yes. You don't have to. But I'm saying to get empathy and respect, that's what you have to.
No, because you can actually sing on that beat. And that beat is successful, and the wording that you use to complement the beat is what gets you the empathy and the respect.
Because that's not what your father would have done. If it was the same wording your father would have done, he wouldn't give you that empathy and respect. You have to break the mold to get that empathy and respect.
But we've always said this, that right? If you want to, if you believe that there's a better way, you should do it. We know of big artists that have signees that are the ones that write their songs. Again, I don't want to mention names, but I know of one very big artist that somebody in his
say their name.
Someone in his record label writes his songs, and when the person sings his own music, it sounds exactly like that. But him that owns the record label, once he sings that same thing, it blows. Are you now telling me that person will not have empathy and respect for him because I'm the one that wrote everything? You must know.
But that's a different, because the power dynamic is different to that.
No, but what I'm just trying to...
If you flipped it back, does that guy the guy that's big have empathy and respect for the other guy. I doubt
he was the one that was right and everything.
Because he's doing it exactly how he wants it, unless this guy does something different.
I'm paying you element is your job.
If you even if you're giving your parents the results
for what I understand empathy and respect to mean, I think you can still get it. It might be to a varying degree, and not the degree that you expect it to be. You might be expecting, I don't know, but what it sounds like is you're expecting when you walk in, your father is like, I can't question your decision.
Actually, I have a point. I was just listening to what everybody was saying. Yeah? The point I have with empathy and respect is
say your point, because Uzi's got to go. But finish your point.
Okay. So in terms of empathy and respect, so basically what I was trying to say is the way I see empathy and respect, I kind of see it in the way she does see it. I'll give an example myself. If I was a parent, the way I would raise my kid, I wouldn't raise my kids to see me as a mini god. I raise my kids to see me as a guardian, right? So I believe as a parent, my role should be guiding my kids based on the passion they choose or based on the path they want to choose in life. And in that way, all I represent in their life is to be their friends and to be somebody that hopefully they respect enough to ask me for my opinion in order for me to do so. But also, I would play the role of that teacher to make them understand why having that guardian role is important in life. Now, whether they choose to accept that advice or not, or not accept that advice, I think it's up to them. And I think that's where we feel as Africans, because we get over emotional and we want everybody to be able to.
So I hear you, and you're a product of your environment. When you're in an exposed environment with people with bright minds, exposed mindsets, I can agree with you that you should not look at yourself as a mini god. You should look at yourself as someone who is guiding and empowering the next person to make decisions of their own, which is completely fantastic, because that's how majority of us around here think. When you look at the African parent dynamic, and if you think of it, white people more likely are already like that. But if you think about the African parent dynamic, it's different, because again, they are products of their environment. There's culture, there's tradition that needs to be considered. They're not doing it because they just want to do it like that. This is what they know, right? That's one element. The second element is that you will only be okay with your child making decisions against your own guidance if that is proving them to be successful as shared. If your child opposes your advice and fails, you will not say, well, I've just given you advice as a guardian, that's your business. No, you will want to take a sterner position as the parent, because you can clearly see that their own decision is not working. If we talk about university again, because I think naturally,
I'm not talking as a child now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, say,
you said as a parent you would just be a guardian, and then if they just want them to take their own decisions.
Now I'm talking about this scenario. They have a job, they're just about to get a job from university, or they've entered university.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe telling them, do certain things. I don't believe I can tell them what to do.
No, you can't tell them. But if I advised you and I said, see, this particular field, do this field, right? It is more lucrative. When I know that you have the chance to do it, and you don't do it, and you go and pick a field that is less lucrative, and then you now start coming to me to come and pay your rent, to give you money to which empathy and respect
what I'm saying is, if the child's play to make that decision was actually a brilliant thought, like it was a good, well-intentioned decision,
unfortunately,
it just happened to fail.
Themselves.
No, I'm saying it just happened to fail circumstantially.
Yes.
I would still give the child empathy and respect if it was a brilliant decision.
To a varying degree. Now that is what I've already mentioned here, that it is a varying degree. You will, because it's your child. You understand where the person is coming from. You understand that the person was passionate about this, so you want the person to thrive in what they were passionate about. That in its own will enable you to have the empathy for them, right? And some respect. but it would not be the same as the person who was now completely independent, able to pay their own rent, not coming to you every month. I need money for cream, I need money for my trousers. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Waste man, I'm telling you.
Do you get me? It's like the same thing in uni. If a father is giving you advice and saying, see, study every day after uni, study. Just study because it's difficult, right? Study what you've learned that day so that when you get towards the exam, it is difficult.
You need to understand that you need to understand whether your child likes to study or not in order for you to support him properly. What if a child doesn't want to study, but you think studying is the only way for him to be successful, and he's telling you, see, listen, Dad, I don't want to study, I want to play football.
So we are talking. That's a different thing now. That means at that point they didn't even have a shared view before getting into university. I'm talking of children who have agreed to go to university.
Fair.
You've gone to university, but you don't want to now study.
Right, okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's a different thing if you said, I don't want to go to university. I want to play football, and they forced you to go to university. That's different. But where we have both agreed, the next step is to go to university, and now telling you that university is difficult, study. You're not taking my advice again because you think that you know it.
Okay.
You're the one in class. You have listened. I can revise this thing 2 weeks to exam time. Then you now fail. Then you now want respect and empathy from that person.
No, I'm saying if the child's strategy was actually brilliant, if I heard it and I was like, yo, you know what, this actually makes sense, but it just happened not to work in this particular time. So I'm still going to give the child the empathy because the idea was brilliant. If the child's
strategy was, I would study, right? And you agree, I would study every day, and I was studying every day, and you agree that is a brilliant idea. But unfortunately, him studying every day, maybe he just couldn't comprehend the thing. He had tried, he had met all his lecturers, he had done everything within his power. You would obviously empathize with the child, right? But if that was not the child's strategy, and you had a better one, and the child felt like, I want to be independent, I want to make my own decision, and completely failed.
From that, I mean, we were saying that last time. If the child's strategy is clearly wrong, then obviously,
and at that point you'll be like, are you silly? Like, focus on your book. Then you take a stereo stance because you can't be talking of empathy at that point when somebody is just
and you will lose the empathy of it more.
Exactly. And if you are now funding it on top, giving the person money, you are now seeing the person on Facebook in the club popping bottles. I remember my own story. I have family friends that when I first came to the UK, I'll give you. I didn't want to give too many stories. But I remember when I first came to the UK, I can't forget. My 18th birthday that year. Went to Moonlightning Club in London. I can't forget, and that was interesting because a bunch of fucking 17, 18-year-old kids sat down on the floor, busting my way and pouring it on my shoe and all of that. Posting it on Facebook, and my family friend obviously immediately went and showed my parents. This is why he would not allow his own children to go abroad, because once you are, I'm telling you,
there are no tags on your shoes.
That was what I felt like. You know when you see friends, I remember I first went to parties at the time, and I had seen people that I felt like the money that was in my account, or my father had put in my account, you can't have it in your own, and you are living a lavish life. That's what I can overdo. Do you understand? And as a young child, unfortunately, with that much money in your account, I didn't work for it, and I knew that I was in a country where my parents were, they were going to send me, you get me? So anyways, I did that, and this guy reported to my parents, and my parents called me and told me off about it, and blah, 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 and whatever. But today, who gives a rat's about the fact that I poured away on my shoe now? Do you get, like, as long as you've proven yourself since then, nobody cares.
But the fact that you still ended up where you were after pouring away on your shoe is what is getting that empathy.
That is exactly what I'm saying. That yes, if you believe that it doesn't change anything, then do it. But if I was doing that
and you failed,
are you in Crystal Palace now?
What are you telling me? What are you telling me?
Oh man, but yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair. That's actually fair.
Yeah, man, it's a great conversation, and we know you have to.